Set deep amid the trees is a cluster of traditional buildings, a Shinto shrine, the dwelling place of deities. Since ancient times, the people of Japan have prayed before the deities enshrined in these places. Let's take a closer look at shrines and see what they reveal about religious beliefs in Japan. Shrines are dedicated to the deities of Shinto, Japan's ancient religion which is still thriving to this day. It is said that at present, Japan has about 80,000 shrines. At the New Year, many people pay a visit to a shrine or a temple. This custom is called Hatsumode. People also visit shrines on important occasions to make wishes and to offer thanks. Parents take young children to a shrine for a ceremony called Shichigo-san. Prayers are offered for the healthy growth of boys aged 3 and 5 and girls aged 3 and 7. Wedding ceremonies too are often conducted at shrines. After thanking the deity for their good fortune in finding each other, the couple vow to build a peaceful home. Let's review the proper etiquette when visiting a shrine. Once you pass through this gate, the torii, you are in a sacred realm. It's said that the approach to a shrine is also used by the deity. For that reason, it's customary to avoid the center and walk at the side. Eventually, you come to a purification basin. Before presenting yourself to the deity, you must rinse your hands and mouth to cleanse yourself of impurities. Up ahead is the Hall of Worship. This is where you will offer prayers to the deity. Ringing the bell is said to summon the deity and ward off misfortune. The most common way to worship is to bow twice and then clap twice. After praying in silence, you bow once more. A shrine is a place where you can offer a prayer and purify body and soul, so that you can get on with daily life feeling refreshed and renewed. In Japan, shrines take various forms in different locations and are home to many different deities. Ise Jingu in Mie Prefecture. This ancient shrine is very important. It even appears in Japanese mythology. Every year it attracts over 6 million visitors. The many deities enshrined here include the sun goddess, Amaterasu Omikami. 2 or 3 centuries ago, people regarded a pilgrimage to Ise Jingu as a special, once-in-a-lifetime event. Itsukushima Jinja, on the island of Miyajima in Hiroshima Prefecture. Miyajima is regarded as one of the 3 most scenic spots in Japan. Built out over the water, the shrine is dedicated to deities of the sea. And this is Izumo Taisha in Shimane Prefecture. Enshrined here is a deity who is said to have played a role in the birth of the nation. The same deity is worshipped for bringing people together. In Japan, people believe in many different deities, and so when someone wants to pray, they'll seek out the shrine best suited to their specific hope or dream.
Cool Hokkaido. where we introduce the rich nature and unique culture of the northern island of Japan, Hokkaido. Superb scenery, experience, flavor, and life. We will introduce Hokkaido's best of cool. First, the superb views. Spring, plum blossoms covering the lakeside of Lake Toya. Summer, a carpet of flowers stretching out in the field of Biei, as if it were a piece of patchwork when seen from above. And the night view of Hakodate. To preserve this night view, citizens prevent high-rise buildings from being built. Autumn. The entire mountain bathed in autumn color. The World Heritage Site, Shiretoko. Winter. The sunrise at Lake Shikaribetsu. Time flows so quietly and calm. Skiing at Niseko. The powder snow feels as if you were floating on the snow. Rafting the rivers of Niseko, embraced by nature. The Yosakoi Soran Festival in Sapporo. The energy of the dancers is overwhelming. Summer, the beer gardens at Odori Park. The more beer, the merrier it gets. Onsen, another attraction when in Hokkaido. At Lake Toya, relax in the hot water and enjoy the changes of season. The flavor of Hokkaido. To begin with, the miso ramen that originated in Sapporo. The soup made from miso will give you energy. The Tokachi specialty, butadon. The secret recipe sauce enriches the flavor of pork. Hokkaido is a treasure house of seafood. The sushi in Otaru, accompanied by locally made sake, makes it even tastier. The Hakodate specialty, ika somen, squid noodles, a soft and sweet taste, and a special squid cuisine in Hakodate, goroyaki. The animals of Hokkaido show us the beauty of life. Japanese cranes in their dance of courtship. In search of pink salmon is the brown bear. The Sea of Okhotsk, covered with drift ice. A mysterious form of life, the Cleone, is known as the Fairy of Ice. The cool things you'll find in Hokkaido will impress you in a way that you've never seen before.
Ready? Go! Welcome to Supreme Skills, Tug of War Edition. Hardened steel wire versus the latest super fiber. The crucial moment will be a snap. One of the ropes breaking at a pressure of 6.7 tons. Think it's silly? Hardly. Winning this contest means you've made the ideal rope. For exceptional strength, the pros rely on hardened steel wire rope. But for flexibility, you can't beat fiber rope. The strength of wire rope, the flexibility of fiber. There's no rope that combines the two. Two teams will compete to create an ideal rope. Representing the wire rope industry, meet the Chrysanthemum Company. They make the wire ropes in motor vehicles. Wire ropes don't bend easily without breaking. They have to take roundabout routes. With more flexible ideal ropes taking shorter routes, vehicles could be made smaller and lighter. That might even lead to revolutionary new products. And now, for the fiber rope industry, here's the Kanaya Seiko Company. With an ideal rope, safety would improve dramatically. It could be used in the most demanding circumstances. Whichever type demonstrates the best combined strength and flexibility will win. Which will be the closest to the ideal rope?
The winch is...
Whoa! Supreme Skills!
Welcome back to Supreme Skills.
This is a contest to determine the ideal rope. A dream rope with strength and flexibility. Both increased to the absolute max. Here is the venue. It's a battle for number one, a tug of war.
A tug of war. This device was developed exclusively for our tug of war. The winner must exhibit both raw pulling strength and extreme flexibility. Whichever rope best combines those two qualities will win.
What a fascinating contest.
But we're here to win.
Right. We figure we can beat wire ropes somehow or another. So we're in.
How about it? Your opponent is fiber rope. Aren't you confident of beating them?
Well, we're fighting a real taboo here, since wire rope has never bent so radically as this.
Whoa.
All right. They each had a month to make their rope and a 3mm limit in thickness. Both teams trying to combine flexibility and strength. How do they manage that?
The challenge for Team Wire Rope is to develop flexibility to the utmost. Even when wire ropes are made of the same materials and to the same overall thickness, how they twist greatly affects flexibility. The finer the constituent wires, the greater the flexibility. Managing Director Kikugawa, known as an unconventional idea man, has outlined a bold strategy. He's looked at how wire ropes break. When a wire rope is radically bent, its wires begin to break from the outside in. Typically, a wire rope has 6 outer strands. Kikugawa proposes an outer sheathing of 15 strands. The strands would use thinner wires, adding flexibility. However, the greater the number of strands, the harder it is to work with them.
Let's go with this. Mita, you okay with this?
He's asking production specialist Tadashi Mita.
This part will be a pain.
Forget about how easy it is, or how hard it is to produce. Just let's make the strongest rope ever.
Mita's the one who has to take Kikugawa's wild ideas and turn them into reality. Straight away, they do a trial run. 15 strands of thin wires encasing more substantial strands. All twisted into wire rope with exquisite precision. But wait a minute. There's a slight gap. When the rope is bent, this gap will cause some slack, reducing any strength reinforcement.
It's like a living creature, hardness and so on. It's not entirely uniform with respect to such qualities.
They've been advancing the rope too swiftly. The strands haven't had time to line up properly, resulting in gaps in the braid. Accordingly, Mita reduces the speed slightly. That spaces those 15 strands more tightly. An hour and a half of trial and error. But look! Not a single gap! Beautiful!
It does look perfect.
Check out the cross-section. 15 outer strands braided uniformly, made of thin wires in hopes of achieving extreme flexibility.
Attention all employees. The tug of war is about to begin.
A trial of strength. The latest prototype versus their previously most supple wire rope. That's the experimental new one on top.
New one better win. Give me a win.
It's time. The trial begins.
Ready, go! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Oh, the upper one.
Oh no. The prototype they put so much effort into. The upper one is the prototype. Those outer strands are billowing out. When the strands come apart like that, their bundled collective strength is compromised.
That was not expected. An unexpected development.
Losing to their own existing product? They're still far from having an ideal rope. Idea man Kikugawa gets right down to devising counter moves.
Here's a triple braided wire rope. If we go with something like this, the wires won't billow out so easily.
His new proposal is for a simple braided structure based on 3 main strands. But the strands would be comprised of thin wires for greater flexibility. Mita tries again. This time, we better do better. Going for revenge in their rematch with their previous product. The prototype again on top. Ready? Go!
What happened?
Did it?
The one that snapped was the previous product. The prototype scores a clear victory.
Finally, after all those trials. Now we've got something.
Team Fiber Rope have no doubts about their rope's flexibility. But Hirose, the designer, has a different concern.
Our tug-of-war opponent is made of metal. They could cut through us like a knife. Unfortunately, we can't compete with a knife for hardness.
Fibers get damaged more, right?
Is the concern justified? They set up a trial contest between an ordinary wire rope and a fiber rope. Ignominious defeat. The ordinary wire rope was cut clean through. The wire became like a sharp blade, slicing its opponent in two with a single stroke. So they're using super fiber now. Its special molecular structure gives it incredible hardness. How hard? It can stop a supersonic bullet. The super fiber chosen for their ideal rope is a polymer called polyfiber. It's 30 times stronger than the hemp rope typically used in a tug-of-war. Even among super fibers, it's super strong. They'll use another fiber too, ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene. It adds strength, but it's also highly supple, an all-purpose super fiber. The more yarns of fiber that you twist into the strands of a rope, the stronger the rope will be. The rules limit the rope's diameter to 3 millimeters. Within that, they'll try to incorporate more yarns than ever before. They measure the rope's width. And
3.3.
Too bad. It's just over 3 millimeters. Furukawa is in charge of manufacture. What to do?
Can we get this down to 3 millimeters?
He feels the strands of fiber with his left hand and adjusts the controls with his right hand. By increasing the tension, he can get a tighter weave. Concentrating on his fingertips, he taps and flicks the yarn. He pulls the yarn as tightly as he can without sacrificing its strength. He senses those limits with one fingertip. We're watching true craftsmanship. And the result? Exactly 3.0 millimeters. That's supreme skill! They go straight into a strength test. Their opponent is a length of commercial wire rope. It too has a diameter of 3 millimeters.
This is like Brazil versus Japan in soccer.
Which is Brazil?
Oh, the wire rope is Brazil. Our opponent, we're Japan.
Here we go. 100 kilos, 200 kilos, 300 kilos, 400, 500, 600, 700 kilos.
Which one? Who's the winner?
That little pop when it broke should tell you. So what did that pop mean? Would the wire rope go pop?
I say it did. So what happened?
You're right.
The wire popped, right? We won!
Yeah, we did!
The deciding moment. A victory even the pros didn't anticipate. A major upset!
Honestly, I was surprised too. Because I was thinking, up till now, we never beat wire rope. So I guess we can be happy for now.
Hey! You beat wire rope easily.
Yeah, it was surprising. Quite easily.
Japan totally beat Brazil.
Yes, we did it.
Hirose's expression.
So unexpected.
And you were like this. Really like this. Now, Kikugawa-san, Making a wire rope flexible is no easy task, right?
Right.
When we lost to our own earlier product in that first test, I wanted all that time back. That's how I felt.
Sure you did. Of course.
We were so confident, and then so surprised when we lost.
Yeah. You announced it on the PA.
Everybody gathered around looking disappointed in me. It was a shock.
We've demanded the opposite of what you're used to. You're all hardness and strength, and we've asked you to show us your flexibility. Like the comedian Naoto Takenaka, smiles when he's angry.
You mocking me? Get over here, jerk!
So we've got a contest to see which side will laugh through their anger.
Let's have a look at the contest entries for both teams, if you would.
Wow! Crazy flexible. So how would you rate this in points?
After dozens prototypes, I'd give it a 90.
You got that far. And Team Fiber Rope? You're in good shape?
I think we wound up with something better than we thought we would.
This is going to be great.
And now, finally, our tug-of-war showdown.
The contestants take their positions. The crucial moment will be a snap. One of the ropes breaking at a pressure of 6.7 tons. We've prepared not just a double, but a triple layer of protection against the recoil. Just in case of any shrapnel, everyone present will wear goggles. All precautions have been taken.
So, how do the contestants feel? Kikugawa-san?
We got this far. I'd like to win. I'm praying to God.
Very natural. And Furukawa-san?
I hope we stick it out.
All right, let's decide by means of a tug-of-war. On one side, Team Wire Rope. On the other, Team Fiber Rope. It's time to start.
Ready? Go!
First crank. No change of expression. Fourth crank. That's getting tighter and tighter.
They're in a mutual chokehold. And for the point of contact as they grapple, both sides have devised secret strategies. Team Wire Rope, fortifying its hard steel wires, has devised a special weapon. This is it. Enter the swedging machine. Struck from left and right and top and bottom, the steel is hardened further. The process is likened to forging a sword. A wire rope that's passed through this process is called hammered wire. Before, as viewed in cross-section, the rope's wires look round and neatly bound. Compare the cross-section of a hammered wire rope. Densely packed. In fact, compressed. And that means strength is increased. Look closer. Sharp edges have developed. They're all becoming blades.
And right where you bend it, these little blades start sticking out. In the workshop, it all behaves well. But fighting a fiber rope, this is a bad boy. Really.
But Team Fiber Rope also has its secret weapon.
The carbon fibers arrived.
Super hard carbon fiber. This is the stuff used to strengthen airplanes and rockets. They'll wrap their entire rope in this. To an already tough super fiber rope, this will add a protective armor.
It's totally wrapped.
The plan is to stop the wire rope attack and win on pulling strength.
This'll do it. This is good.
Both ropes are packed with spirit, but only one can win.
Now the 10th crank. They are so taut.
The cranking's gotten tricky. Now comes the real battle.
I see.
Furukawa-san, how's it feel to you?
Well, it's getting a little harder.
Comes down to a tug. Now the 11th crank.
Whoa.
That was the safety belt that moved.
I was scared too.
Ready for crank number 12.
Getting pretty stiff now.
We're almost there. Almost there. Maybe.
This is nerve-wracking.
No way to tell who's gonna win.
Hirose-san looks nervous.
A bit.
Mita-san, you look calm, but are you?
My heart's exploding.
Then let's go. Number 13.
That looks so tight.
That winch.
Is it tight?
It's tight.
Still undecided. Crank number 14. What's going on? They're getting twisted, but no change in the point of contact.
Getting stretched out too.
You'd think they can't take anymore.
Which one is going to snap?
I wonder. You can't tell by looking at the contact point. So, which will win? Now, the 15th crank of the winches. The winches are so...
Whoa!
It snapped! But which one? Let's see. Please show both ropes. Ah! We hear lamentations from Team Fiber Rope.
It did break.
Team Wire Rope, how did yours do?
Oh, about 5 wires frayed.
It has quite a bit of damage, but it's intact.
The winner is Team Wire Rope. Congratulations!
This is the decisive moment. The fiber rope burst apart with explosive force. The wire rope was also partially damaged. It took all of 0.0003 seconds.
Wire rope is supposed to be less flexible, but you won on flexibility.
To be honest, I thought it might be the wire rope that snapped.
You couldn't tell at first.
No, not at all. I really had butterflies in my stomach. And then relief.
2 or 3 wires broke. Well, several. To tell you the truth, it was actually a pretty close call.
Team Fiber Rope chalked up the loss, but you put up quite a fight.
Well, we got another lesson in the strength of wire rope.
But honestly, I was surprised you took it that far. Up against wire rope.
The ideal rope achieved at last. But progress cannot be stopped. New challenges are still welcome.
NHK World.